This podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you're driving, cooking, or doing laundry, Progressive knows the podcasts you listen to go best when they're bundled with another activity. Much like how Progressive home and auto policies go best when they're bundled. Having these two policies together makes taking care of your insurance easier and could help you save, too. Customers who save by switching their home and car insurance to Progressive save over $775 on average. That's a whole lot of savings and protection for your favorite podcast listening activities, like going on a road trip, cooking dinner, and even hitting the home gym. Yep, your home and your car are even easier to protect when you bundle your insurance together. So find your perfect combo. Get a home and car insurance quote at Progressive.com today. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $779 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Sometimes it takes a different approach to help you unlock your true potential. With Capella University's game-changing FlexPath learning format, you gain relevant skills you can apply to your career right away. Earn your degree from an accredited university and be confident in the quality of your education. Imagine your future differently at capella.edu. Capella University is accredited by the Higher Learning Commission. Learn more at capella.edu/accreditation.
Oh, baby, welcome to the Think Different podcast. That's right. It is the official St. Patrick's edition. I got my hat on because I'm totally Irish. And I am Will. I am the former Apple retail man who worked at Apple for over 11 and a half years. I was a specialist. I was a creative. And of course, I was a genius. But not my co-host. Nope, he was not a genius, but he was a creative. He was a retired book publisher. He definitely is a soccer mom recorder. He is a Jurassic Park owner, the black coffee drinker, Gerald number 12, the retirement home president, the keto trout drummer, Mr. Frank Funk is here with me today.
Hey, here we go. You ready?
I was ready on Tuesday when all the amazing announcements happened on what an Apple day it was for us. The first of the 2022 products have been announced. Now, we're going to skim through all the really stupid things, and then we're going to get to the main event, all right? Because Frank is probably pretty upset with this new Mac Studio that came out. I'm going to tell you why I think he's upset. I'll tell you why before you actually give your thoughts. But let's talk about the other things that Apple brought up first. Oh, and before we even get started, make sure you are subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you haven't, I have been posting something we used to do back in the day in the Apple Store, Final Cut Fridays, because every Friday I am going to do a video in Final Cut Pro, because that is my expertise in that. So our first episode was just talking about the layout, and this one that is up to the same day that we are recording this and that is going up on Fridays is an episode on importing footage into Final Cut. So that is our first two episodes, and every week I'm going to have a new one. So we're really trying to get a lot of YouTube content out on our channel. Please subscribe to us. We really do appreciate that. Get us to 1,000 because we're going to have a special episode for 1,000. We have to. So it's all because of your video, let's be honest.
Sure.
So let's be real here. But the more content we push out, the more that people want to watch us,
Yep.
People like us. We're very relatable people, especially in my St. Patrick's hat. What are you doing for St. Patrick's Day? I know you're getting this guy.
What am I doing for it? We're gonna be in Florida.
Oh, so, that should be nice.
Yep.
Thanks for inviting us,
We're leaving.
Whatever.
We're leaving in a few days and heading down. We don't know when we'll be back, but
all right, well, he may never return to New Jersey, everybody. It might be the last time that we're going to see Frank in this in this cavern that he has in his basement. And I for sure will not be bringing him a Zevia because he has decided to go to Florida and not bring me. So this is to Frank for not inviting me to Florida.
All right.
All right, let's go to the videotape. This is what I think what we're going to do for these Apple events. We're going to give them a thumbs up and a thumbs down. So on camera, if you're watching us, we're going to do the thumbs up or thumbs down, but on every single part. So we're going to start with Apple TV's announcements. So there's a bunch of brand new movies and exclusive Friday night MLB
Baseball.
games.
Yeah.
So, Frank, what would you give this, an up or down so far on that announcement?
Well,
or whatever that it was.
I'm a big proponent of Apple TV, and so I'd have to give it, although I'm not a big baseball fan, the Friday night baseball really is not going to do anything for me one way or the other, but overall, I'd give it a thumbs up.
Now, you have to remember, for $5 a month, you're basically getting the MLB games. And they're going to pick 2 random games. It doesn't matter what it is. You can watch it. Now, I'm still on the thumbs down overall on the Apple TV Plus. I'm still a thumbs down on it.
Huh?
They can't rely on Ted Lasso here. Let's just be honest. So, they're popping out all these different movies. But again, I have not had any interest at all to want to be on that platform. But the sports was something we talked about that they were going to do. And MLB right now is in their own little pickle. Let's just say that right now they're not exactly having a season, which I thought was a funny announcement because MLB technically is not on track to have a season right now. So this deal kind of like will not work if they don't get this deal going.
Yeah,
it'll make Apple look pretty stupid.
Well, I think some of the movies that they're making their own films exclusively for the Apple TV, which is good. And
better quality. It's not like Netflix where they're just going to pay anybody to make anything. I've seen some like D movies on there that they've paid for. So they're doing high quality ones.
I just kind of wish that they would have acquired a studio. Like like when Warner Brothers was for sale and other ones. At least then they would have had a back catalog, But hey, who knows?
Right, agreed. Well, again, I gave it kind of a thumbs down on the announcement because right now MLB is not in a position of announcements right now. There's a lot of controversy with that. Not to mention none of the movies look really that appealing to me. You really didn't get a trailer of them. It was just a really quick snippets. But that was Apple TV Plus. And then they had the new green iPhone 13. They do this every year. They always come out with a new color just to spike up the iPhone 13 sales. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. I think the color looks great.
Yeah. Yep. That actually, they had the forest green in the
11, the iPhone 11. Everyone went crazy for that. I had one, and I wanted that in the 12, but they weren't offering it. No, they did not. They came up with the purple one. The cat. They were doing.
I like to go for the blue one. But the green I really like. So
I like the green
it's
too.
It's going to be a big success.
I do. I think they like to save like the best color for down the line just to get those little bits up. But I give a thumbs up to the color. And then the iPhone SE has now been upgraded to a 3rd generation model. So they have now a couple things about that is there is a $30 increase. It went from $399 to $429. And I'm assuming that's the 5G because all the phones went up in price because of the 5G. So, but now this time again, same idea. You don't have a power brick in this box and you only have the wire. So you have to remember that going into this phone. But again, it's probably the most affordable phone, but they put the latest chip in there, which is a key component because these chips can last you 7 years. That's how long Apple is supporting their OSs on these models. So they are not cheap on the processor. But like I said, they increased the price just a tiny bit. And that kind of puts me in a thumbs middle for me, only because the price increase doesn't justify them taking all the stuff out of the box and make it a smaller box. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They made up for that somewhere.
You have that thing where, you believe they should put the charger in there, that's fine.
No, I think they should put the USB-A to Lightning connector in the box. Not everyone is ready for USB-C yet. That's what I think they should do.
Well, some of the benefits of the phone, though, you have You have the 5G that you mentioned. All right. You have the A15 chip.
Yep.
You have up to 2 hours more video playback.
They do. They had the battery time is better with the optimization. Yes.
Stronger glass.
Yep, on the back.
Better for spills. Improved camera.
And for those who really want the home button, who still want the Touch ID,
yep,
that's the phone.
It's there. Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah, I honestly, like I said, I'm a minute on that one. I will still say that for $429, you're still getting a great value.
Yeah,
out of that. That is for sure. The pre-orders are going to be available soon for that, or are they available now?
I think you can pre-order now. It'll be available on the 18th of March.
Mm-hmm. I love how the black and white is now called Starlight and Midnight.
Yeah.
I like how they changed the little...
yeah.
Hey, but if you have an SE now, if you have like the first gen SE, I would trade that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally trade that in. I think that's a really good idea. And also the sizes were probably a big difference. So let me see right now. So if you have the SE edition, I'm going to see what they got here. Actually, I don't even see that as an option. Oh, here we go. So the second gen, you'll get up to $150 for that.
Yeah, so that's not bad.
No. So that makes up a lot of the cost right there. Right now, like the worst possible phone that you could have, if you have an iPhone 6S, $30 trade-in. You might as well keep it at that point.
Yeah.
So, but I interesting, the iPhone SE, the first gen's not on here. Now, that's a very old phone, so I'm not surprised. It's like an iPhone 5S style phone. So, if you have the old generation, hey, and you still like it, upgrading it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yep.
You got 64 gigs, not a bad start. And then the next thing was the iPad Air. And they threw in an M1 chip into that device, which begs the question, why would anyone want to buy an iPad Pro besides the display?
Right.
Besides the display.
Absolutely, yeah. Exactly. I mean, this device, when they announced yes, if you wanted to go with the cellular route, that 5G is available, USB-C port, 2 times faster.
Yep, faster.
12 megapixel camera with center stage.
Yeah, that was the only one that was missing center stage, and now they all have it now.
And it's $599.
That's the same price as it was before. If you just in case you wanted,
and that's at the 64 gig. It's only available in 2 sizes: 64 and 256.
Yeah, that's a very it's quite odd that they did that.
And the 256 is what, $799? I think so. Yeah,
somewhere around that.
But I was impressed with this. I thought, that's nice, because I was last time we talked, I was considering a mini.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, hell, why would I do that?
I don't know why anybody would get a mini. They they kind of do the same thing where they, for $100 more, you're basically just talking about screen size.
Yeah.
And an M1 versus an A15, which is no comparison whatsoever. I mean, you don't know you will not know the difference. How can you possibly know the difference? They all work with the second generation pencil. So now between the iPad mini and the iPad Air, you're just talking size between $100.
Right.
And for $100, you might as well just get the Air. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of the mini because it's perfect size if you're going to use it just as a reader, you know? And I do a lot of reading on my iPad Pro, and I thought, well, man, it'd be nice, But now with the iPad Air,
they just kind of killed the mini in a lot. They killed the mini, or the mini's got to be discounted down like another $50 maybe. That might help.
Maybe
because you're talking now. By the way, the 256 model is $749, and in the iPad Mini 6th generation, again, $100 cheaper at $649. So really, there's no differences other than the M1 chip and the size, and I think that's really it. And then there's no smart folio for the Mini. You don't need one for that, but So, yep. I mean, I almost want to buy a refurbished old iPad Air. I'm trying to wait and see if there's one out there or if I can get the hookup because I do like the iPad Air. But I also thought, you know what? I might make the jump. I think I might be ready for a new iPad.
Yeah.
So
and I have a Pro, and the only thing that not the only thing, but one of the major things I like about this is the second gen pencil on the Air. It adheres right to the top to charge. You don't have to plug it in. You know, I mean, you plug the unit in, of course, but it'll charge by itself just magnetically on the top of the unit. I like that. So I'm thinking, maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, I would still give this a thumbs up. I think the price should still be a little cheaper, but thumbs up on the iPad Air. I'm assuming you like the iPad Air, but let's now talk about what everyone's here for. The new Mac Studio. It was earlier in the week where the rumored name was going to come out of the Mac Studio, but what was not on anybody's radar, at least not everyone, was the new M1 chip they created, which was the M1 Ultra.
Yeah.
And without going through all the specs, that guy that talks on that Apple event keynote, my God, he knows so many big words. You're taking the M1 Max and you're timesing it by 2. So there's 2 different processors on the board. But what they've done is they have fused them together so that they act as one chip so that developers don't need to make any differences.
And it got rid of the latency from going from one chip to the other. So that was,
again, that's breakthrough technology that is pretty amazing that they can create stuff like this. They're on top. When Intel is trying to catch up to just the Max and they came out with the Ultra, wow. Yeah. How in the world is Intel going to somehow compete with this?
I mean, they're in trouble. 114 billion transistors.
That's it? That's it?
That's it.
Apple.
That's it.
Yeah, step up your game, Apple.
I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. 800 gigabit bandwidth. I mean, the specs are off the charts.
They are.
Power efficiency. I mean, now the other thing that I found kind of fascinating, they compared this chip to the M1 Max, and it blew it out of the water.
Yeah, okay? I think they mostly compared the M1, not so much the Max. I don't know if they really compared the Max. I'll have to go back. You might be right, but I think it was mostly their own M1 they were comparing it to, which is already, again, a fast processor as it is. So this can support 8. Think of what the Studio can support. The 5 displays, including 4 of their Studio ones, plus an HDMI. It can support 18 streams of 8K video. Whoever needs that, I don't know. But
well, again, this is not like you mentioned in our little messaging. This is not for the casual user. This is definitely, this is definitely filled with horsepower. The only thing that I'm a little bit reluctant on, this is the 3rd
attempt.
It's the 3rd re-engineering of the Big Mac. You're talking
about desktop Mac, right. So
like they had the trash can model.
Yeah, trash can is what everyone kind of compared that because the breathing pattern is on the bottom, kind of similar how the trash can was, and it's breathing through the back with the fans. And they did explain how that works. Yeah. And again, design-wise, it's a beautiful design, very clean. They even decided to put ports in the front, which I was a little surprised because Apple was kind of
card, 2 USB-Cs. I mean, it's loaded with ports. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
They put an SD card in the front. They put the USB-C in the front or Thunderbolt, depending on which chip you buy. They have A ports on the back. So who would have thought that? They actually have A ports. They have 4 Thunderbolts on the back. Thunderbolt 4 ports, HDMI, 10 gigabit Ethernet, which is great. I'm glad they included the 10 on that. They're actually using a different power supply than they normally do. They left that obviously outside the box. It's a 3-prong one, the 3 triangle prong square, which is a little different. But my God, they're incredible machine. It looks like it's going to be a game changer now for the industry again.
Here's the downside. From a consumer perspective, let's put it that way, starts at $19.99.
Yes.
Right. And then we got to talk about the studio display, right? Now,
so the studio for me gets a thumbs up. Display, though, on the other hand, yeah.
The display
I'm giving that a
man.
Thumbs down.
It's a beautiful display. Okay, but
the technology that they're using in that display is the same one they've been using in the 27-inch iMac that is 8 years old or 7 years old.
Yeah,
because it's a 5K display. It's the same. It's basically the same as what the old 27-inch iMac was. Which, by the way, is gone.
Yeah.
As of now. Yeah. So they have decided, and they made it very clear to move away. Now this is what I was going to bring it up to you. You've been wanting a 27-inch device.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to let you know, sir, it doesn't look like they're going to be getting one. Because the studio has replaced the iMac Pro and the iMac 27-inch at the same time. And again, for $2,000, you're getting a studio. The only thing you're not getting is a display, which, by the way, you can now buy whatever display you want. I actually thought this was better for you than it hurts you. Because then you could buy just a $200 TV and you got yourself a cheaper, because IMAX, they start at 27 starts at $27.99 or something like that for the I mean, how much was the iMac Pro when it came out? I'm going to look it up.
Oh, geez. Mine, I don't. They'll give me in trade just $650 for my 27-inch 5K right now.
And how old is that?
What did I say it was? An 84? Or not 84, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's a late 2014.
Okay.
Quad core Intel i7.
I'm trying to find the price of this old model.
I got 16 gig of RAM. I got
it started at $499 for that iMac Pro, by the way. That started at $5,000.
Yeah.
That started at. Think of the price difference now.
Yeah.
If you really compare what the iMac Pro had in it, and you take this studio plus the display, it's still cheaper.
Yeah.
So a lot of people complain about the price of the display. I was like, well, if you buy it as a set, and for what the power that's in it, and the fact that it beats a Mac Pro right now.
And a lot of places like a couple of friends of mine that have recording studios, they have like you mentioned, one guy has a big, I don't know what the hell size TV it is. I mean, I'll say it's like a maybe 42 or 45 inch that he uses with his MacBook Pro. So this would be ideal. And I could still use my existing keyboard and trackpad.
Yes, you can. Now, I'm going to ask you, and you're going to guess, how much, if I max out the entire studio, what would be the cost? I always like to do this.
If you max it out?
Yep, if you max it out. So I'm going to take a Ultra, which starts at $4,000.
Right.
And you max it out with the extra 64-core GPU, the extra memory, which goes up to 128 and 8 terabytes of storage.
Oh, you got to be, I'm going to say 8.
Oh, you were right on the money. $7,999. So you were $1 off. Pretty close. But in the Price is Right rule, you lost. So I'm just letting you know. So it was a good try. You were just
But again, I mean, if you're for what you're getting, in technology. I mean, if you're a design studio, I would agree. This is something that, and what's nice about it too, what's the weight on it?
Ooh, Jesus, man. You had to throw that on me.
I was thinking because it's something that you can.
It's supposed to be portable. They make it sound like it's very portable.
I mean, it's not like you're going to, throw it in your briefcase, but nonetheless, if I'm going to Florida, I could certainly have taken it with me.
5.9 pounds.
Yeah, so,
That's not much, I'll be honest. And it's 7.9. And by the way, that is for the M1 Max. If you get an Ultra, it's 7.9 pounds. So that's a big change in the. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of weight. That's 2 pounds of a difference.
The chip, the Ultra, it weighs significantly more than just the Ultra single.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why that is, but I guess maybe the way they had to fuse it, I don't know. But
yeah. But if you just wanted to get a Max, and I can tell you, being an M1 Max user right now, how fast this is, I don't think anybody needs to, unless you're like a very high-end studio and you have 3 displays and you have to have all that. You are, like, the Mac Studio, I'll be honest, is pretty sexy to me. Like, I'm at the point where I would like to work off my external drive and be able to work with my laptop and studio. Yeah. But I put too much money into this laptop. Yeah. I don't have any plans on doing that.
See, the thing is, though, it's a shame they don't have a way where you could plug your 27-inch into this and use it as use your 27-inch iMac as a monitor.
Yeah, but they got rid of that a long time ago.
Yeah, no, that's a shame because, like I'd be sitting here going, well, hell, that would be, I'd be into that because then I wouldn't have to put anything out other than, $2,000 for the entry-level model.
Right. By the way, for those who are curious, AppleCare Plus for this Mac is $169, so very fair.
That's nothing.
Yeah, that's very fair. That's $60 a year, guys. I mean, that's nothing. And you can extend it 2 more additional years afterwards. The keyboard and touch ID is $199, which is a little crazy for a keyboard. Yeah. But the touch ID feature is what you want it for. And then the Magic Mouse, which no one should buy an Apple Magic Mouse anymore. Until they get the capability, I'd rather you buy a touchpad. Just buy that instead. But buying, because at least you can work with the touchpad in case like the wireless doesn't work for any reason. At least you can work with it. You can't even do that with the Magic Mouse.
Yeah,
what a crock of crap that is, right?
I mean, you really put a thought in my head here now.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh,
because
I love when I put thoughts in your head.
In this, I'm putting together this music studio, and I was going to get a TV to use in conjunction with that. Now I'm thinking, well, shit, you know what? I can get a $300 or $500 TV with several HDMI ports.
Yep.
And plug one in for the cameras in the studio, and I could for $2,000 get this.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly,
what's the basic configurations that you have it pulled up?
Yeah, so the basic configuration for this model is, oh God, I had it up and now you just. So the base model is a 32 gig memory, 512 SSD storage. It's a 10-core CPU with a 24-core GPU, 16-core neural engine, and that's the 2000. And then I'm assuming you're going to go up in storage size.
Well, I don't know that I'd have to because I got the 2 terabyte.
I mean, you could add more processor. There is more options to add more cores if you want to do that. And of course, you could add $400 for extra memory, which is like 64 gig. I mean, it really just comes down to you. I mean, my model personally, I have a 32 gig, and I have not felt any lag or choking at all. And I'm at 32 gigs. I really don't, unless you want to buy more storage, which I did because I wanted to store more video projects and not have to rely on external hard drives.
And I already have 2 USB SSD drives that are 2 terabytes each. So I can use them for any music project. out of the music studio.
Yeah, this is when I saw this come out, I thought of you right away because I know you wanted a new 27-inch, and I was like, when I saw this, I'm like, they're not going to have. There's no reason to have a 27 anymore. They just came out with a new display. They came out with this, and then when I found out they got rid of it, I was like, oh, that makes total sense.
See, I don't know why I always think in terms of, okay, you got your CPU and a display. And when I saw, all right, $2,000 for the CPU, basically, and I saw $60 for display, I'm like, oh, shit, that's way out of my price range, because I'm thinking, the 14-inch MacBook Pro I was looking at was around $2,000. Mm-hmm. So you think this would be a better buy than the 14-inch MacBook Pro?
It's all about portability, man. That's what. Do you want to go to Starbucks and work on your project?
No.
That's okay. No. Do you want to go anywhere public to watch your project? Do you want to go on a plane and do you want to watch?
Well, don't forget, I have my iPad Air. Mm-hmm. I have my wife has her 13-inch MacBook. That's that's almost as old as me, but she still runs. And I have my phone, so I have all of the connectivity I think that I need for on the go.
Then I think you've answered your question. And by the way, a little side note, they did show a new version of the iMovie app on the iPad. Yes, there was a little tease of that. Which I was a little interested in. I was like, whoa, they're coming out with something new, and they didn't really say much about it, but apparently they're going to have something called Magic Movie. It lets you instantly create style edited videos with titles, transitions, so they're going to kind of do all the work for you, just kind of throw clips in there.
I think
and then the storyboard is going to be kind of cool too, where they have the storyboard feature.
Yeah, well, they had that before, the storyboard.
Yeah, they don't call it the same thing as it was. It was just like trailers.
Yeah,
that's what originally it was. It doesn't look like the trailers are sticking around. So I think they're just changing it around.
I think maybe they're doing.
Oh no, they're still keeping the trailer. I'm lying. I'm completely lying. They're keeping the trailers.
Give you something that you can do a quick TikTok thing with and load it up. That gives a little bit more pizzazz,
Yep, I'm definitely going to try it. I will definitely try it in iMovie. I'm excited for those changes to it. But that's the Apple event keynote. I think the surprise of the Ultra to me was a big deal. No, I will not be buying an Ultra. I don't think I need an Ultra. I don't think any of us talking right now need an Ultra. Frank definitely doesn't need one.
No.
But for $2,000, they could have been cheap and put a Pro in there. No, they went with the Max. And I think it's 100% worth it. I think the value, and again, I'm comparing a $5,000 iMac that was there before.
Yep.
And this beats it.
Yeah.
And I even think the Max beats it, or will likely come close to it. But for $4,000, you're getting the Ultra. Again, that's definitely bringing it up to that price where the iMac is. But I'm sure it's going to blow it out of the water. But I think even the Max destroys it.
Yeah.
So, but I overall give this a thumbs up. The ending was terrific. I thought it was a cool. Again, all the graphics are fun to watch. It wasn't as fun. I will say that the production wasn't as fun. It was kind of like
I think it was more.
It was short. It was definitely short.
I think it was more where they wanted to get this stuff out, and Apple always spends a lot of time on the technical specs of the products, which I get because that's where they're spending all their money, all their R&D, and they want to showcase that.
Yep,
and they did. I just hope that this design on the Mac Studio stays around a while.
I think it will. I think we're going to see the reviews. We're going to see the reviews soon. We'll find out by next week what's going on, what people's feedback is, and what they used it for. I also hope that they don't just give them an Ultra. I hope they give them a Max too, because I think it's important to see the Max performance.
Now, this is the third iteration. Like I said, you had the trash can, you had the
Mac
went
Pro.
back to the tower.
Yes.
Right. And now this, and that's all within a span of what, 5 years?
I definitely the Mac Pro came out in like 2012 or something. It was like really, it's been a long time. But the biggest tease, and then we'll leave this for the end. They said they had one more product to go to make it complete, and that's the Mac Pro. But they said they'll save it for another time.
Yeah.
So I think by the end of this year, they're going to have a new Mac Pro. They're going to have a new chip that they're also creating, because they also mentioned that it's a new chip they're also making with it. So this is going to blow the Ultra out the window, and I don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious. Again, man, has the Mac been on fire or what the last year? It really has been.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that
it's the most exciting product. It's the most exciting products has been the Mac the last year. And you couldn't say that for the last 6-7 years. You couldn't, except for the Mac Pro that came out. Other than that, that's the only exciting product.
The biggest thing was they introduced their own silicon, and then
it changed the game.
It just skyrocketed.
Yes.
And because, I guess depending upon how that took off, and it just went through the roof, and they just expanded on it, and now you have the Max Ultra.
Yep. And like I said, they have changed the game with this, and companies are going to take a long time to catch up to where Apple is right now, because they are blowing them out of the water. Intel can't do it. AMD can't do it. Google's trying to do it. They're not even close to it yet.
Yeah.
No one is close to where Apple is right now, and that's why they have become an exciting company, and they're starting to go back to their roots, and they're starting to add more ports. They're starting to listen to their feedback. They're making changes. If only they can get a goddamn Final Cut Pro on their damn iPad. Oh my God, we could finally be complete here. Jesus, mother, they can't just do that one thing. Anyway, no, there's no well. We're going to end it on that. So, right. Apple, good job on this keynote. It was short and sweet, but I think the studio is going to be great. I'm looking forward to seeing the reviews on it. But we are out of time. It's time to go celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to take this hat off. We're going to go get a Guinness. No, we're not, because we're keto. We don't have Guinness, folks. That's not keto friendly.
Well, you can have one.
No, I'm going to have a Zevia. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the Think Different podcast. I'm Will. Go to our YouTube and subscribe, and I love every single one of you.
Have a good one, man.